इंट्रोडक्शन टू कॉर्डेट्स इफ वी टॉक अबाउट, जो वर्ड है कॉर्डाटा, अगर हम इसे ब्रेक करते हैं तो देयर इज अ वर्ड कॉर्ड एंड आटा. Chord means rod-like structure that is stiff and hard, and atta means bearing. Those animals which bears these stiff, hard, rod-like structure or cord-like structure are called chordates. And if we talk about next thing, that is comparison between chordates and non-chordates. How we evolved, like what are the differences in chordates and non-chordates. फर्स्टली कॉर्डेट्स इनमें नोटोकॉर्ड नहीं होता था, नहीं होता है, जैसे कि एनालिड्स, आर्थ्रोपोड्स एंड कॉर्डेट्स लाइक अस, लाइक फिशेस, लाइक protochordates. They possess notochord. It is not necessary that notochord persists throughout life in an animal body. Then we call it chordate and classify it under chordates, phylum chordates. Notochord, if it is present at any stage of life for some time, then the animals will be called as chordates. Like us, we have notochord at embryonic stage. So we are also referred and classified under phylum chordates. There is a central nervous system which is dorsal, hollow and single. CNS. CNS, central nervous system. So ये dorsal होता है. Dorsal मतलब posterior side पे होता है. And what does mean ventral? Ventral means the non-chordate central nervous system is on anterior side. It is solid and double. As chordate CNS is hollow, खाली होता है. जो pharynx है, pharyngeal gill slits. Pharynx is perforated by pharyngeal gill slits, and in non-chordates gill slits are absent. What are gill slits? Through which water enters and exits in an animal body. Same, heart is ventral in chordates and heart is dorsal in non-chordates. And post-anal part, that is tail. What is tail? Tail is the post-anal extension, means an extension out of the anus. That is refers to as post-anal tail. Like this is anus, and then its extension is known as the tail. And in non-chordates there is no tail or no post-anal tail is present. So this is clear. So we move forward. There are three fundamental characters basically which define chordates. First is notochord, second is dorsal hollow nerve cord, and third is pharyngeal gill slits. If these three at any stage of life in an animal is present, persist, then the animal will be categorized or classified under phylum Chordata. So what is notochord? I have already discussed that a rod-like structure. Yeah, dorsal hollow nerve cord and pharyngeal gill slits. So notochord. It is a rod-like structure, right? ये जो notochord होती है, ये कौन से पोजीशन पे होती है? Ventral. It is ventrally located. इसके ऊपर एक न्यूरल कोड होती है, नर्व कोड होती है. अब अगर बेसिकली ये ग्लाइकोप्रोटीन्स की बनी होती है. ग्लाइकोप्रोटीन्स, यस, जो अंदर के वैक्यूलेटेड सेल्स में प्रेजेंट होते हैं, स्टोर होते हैं. वैक्यूलेटेड सेल्स में वो ग्लाइकोप्रोटीन्स स्टोर होते हैं. एंड it helps in swimming and also provide internal skeleton support to their internal skeleton. And if we talk about us human beings, our notochord, which is present at embryonic stage, is convert into vertebral column. Yes, it is replaced by vertebral column in adult vertebrates mainly. If we move forward, there is a nerve cord. Nerve cord is dorsal, already said. So it is the only embryonic feature unique to all chordates among the other four chordate features: notochord, post-anal tail, and endostyle, and the pharyngeal gill slits. So जो नर्व कोड होती है वो डेवलप होती है सेंट्रल नर्वस सिस्टम में, CNS में डेवलप होती है, and it is derived from the ectodermal neural plate of the embryo and run lengthwise throughout the body. Like if this is notochord, right? Notochord, there is ectoderm upside notochord, which is responsible for new nerve cord formation. Yes, nerve cord serves for the integration and coordination of the body activities. Then there is pharyngeal gill slits. Pharyngeal gill slits, you can see the openings. At some stage, they possess pharyngeal gill slits. So, pharyngeal gill slits primarily function as the passage of for water for and secondary function of pharyngeal gill slit is filter feeding. They retain food particles within the body, and in the pharynx. And if we talk about protochordates and lower vertebrates like hemichordata, protochordates, under protochordates like Chordata, cephalochordata, gill slits are functional throughout their life, but in higher vertebrates, as they evolve pulmonary respiration, they disappear. So there is post-anal tail. What is post-anal tail? I have already said the post-anal extension. If this is the anus, then extension from the anus is the post-anal tail. So it contains skeletal elements, muscles, and provide a source for locomotion in aquatic species. An endostyle. Yeah, endostyle. It is present on the ventral groove of the wall of the pharynx. This produces mucus, right, to gather food particles. In urochordates and cephalochordates, in the larvae of lampreys, we can see that. So basically, if this is the pharynx, in the ventral side, there is endostyle, which secrete mucus, that hold the food particles, and let the water flow throughout the body and retain food particles in them. So yes, that is endostyle. So if we talk about general characters of phylum Chordates, then it is a diverse phylum. It has about 52,000 species, and it is the third largest phylum of the animal kingdom. If we talk about its habitat, it is marine as well as freshwater, and we can find them in on terrestrial environment as well. So the phylum is probably the वी कैन से कि जो भी हम बर्ड्स एनिमल्स हमारे आसपास देखते हैं वो सब इस कॉर्डेटा फाइलम में आते हैं. सो सबसे ज़्यादा डिस्टिंग्विशिंग कैरेक्टर क्या है? नोटोकॉर्ड. If they possess notochord in any stage of their life, then we'll refer them as animals under phylum Chordata. Their body is bilaterally symmetrical, can divide it in two equal halves, and they are triploblastic. They have three of them: ectoderm, muscle from mesoderm, and gut from endoderm. Coelomates, yeah, they are coelomates. So they have also dorsal nerve, hollow nerve cord, already said, notochord, pharyngeal gillet. So what I show is, if अगर हम कंपेयर करेंगे दोनों की पोजीशन, नोटोकॉर्ड एंड नर्व कॉर्ड पोजीशन कंपेयर करेंगे, तो एक दूसरे के साथ जो नोटोकॉर्ड है वो नर्व कॉर्ड के रिस्पेक्ट में वेंट्रल है, और जो नर्व कॉर्ड है वो नोटोकॉर्ड के रिस्पेक्ट में डोर्सल है. As notochord is present ventrally and notochord nerve cord is present dorsally in the body. Yeah. And yeah, there are oral cirri, pharyngeal gill slits also present. Yeah, pharyngeal gill slits, notochord, and nerve cord. These three are the fundamental features of the phylum Chordata. Heart is ventral, as already said. See, this is anterior portion, which lying towards the surface, land. Yeah, they are deuterostomes. That means anus develops from the blastopore first. And what is the blastopore? If we divide zygote in many numbers, then after gastrulation, there will be a blastopore present. Yes. So if I discuss blastopore in detail, then when zygote forms, it divides, it cleaves into 2 cells, into 4 cells, and then 8 cells. Right? After 8 cell, there is a 16 cell stage known as morula, and the 32 cell stage known as blastocyst. Then gastrulation happens. There will be a archenterone blastophore. It is like structure. There is this is blastopore. This region is blastophore, which decides whether the animal will be protostome or deuterostome. If this blastopore converts into anus, then it will be a deuterostome, and if mouth, then it will be a protostome. So chordates are deuterostomes, means blastopore develops blastopore develops into anus, and there are many layers between them. If I this is first layer, this is epidermis, which is responsible for making nervous system, and mesodermis, other organs, and this endodermis is responsible for making a digestive system, and this is archenteron converts into alimentary canal. This is alimentary canal. This is endodermis, which is responsible for digestive system. Yes, and mesodermis for other organs. See, this is a 8 cell stage. There is a cleavage. There is a blastopore. This blastopore. This is mesoderm. This is coelom, ankenteron, and blastopore. Enterocylus, enterocyl. Wait, deuterostome है. Then blastopore will be developed into anus. So, there is a short new classification, which is phylum Chordata has three, four subphylums: hemichordate, urochordate, cephalochordate, and vertebrate. And hemichordates अब chordates से निकल गया है due to some features we'll discuss in another videos. So urochordate, cephalochordate, ये अब आते हैं protochordates के अंदर. And vertebrata, there are two classes, agnatha and gnathostoma. Agnatha are the animals who does not bear jaws, no jaws, and the gnathostoma possess those animals which bear jaws. Yes. So there are chondrichthyes that are cartilaginous fishes in under gnathostoma, ostrichthyes that are bony fishes, amphibians like toad, reptiles, apes, mammalia. In reptiles, we see wall lizard that is known as hemidactylus, normal छिपकली जो घर में होती है. And in amphibia, we can say bufo, that is comatod, you know. So, yeah, this is all about chordates classification and yeah, chordate general characters. Thank you.